So what I was saying was the series is based on Pujya Swamiji's vision to bring younger folks together and then making the message of Bhagavad Gita more accessible to them. And to kind of provide you the chance to have more interaction with the ashram. Because honestly, this is a time when people from our age group find ourselves in situations where we have to make life-altering decisions at times, right? Whether it comes to career, relationships, or anything for that matter. So understanding the messages of Bhagavad Gita and more importantly, deriving strength from them is of utmost importance, especially to this age group. So with that in mind, while we have opened the registration to everyone, since Swamiji's focus is on people between 16 and 40, we want to give them more time and space to voice their thoughts, questions, and interact more with Swamiji. So I hope that people outside of this age group won't mind if we don't have enough time to get to hear from you throughout the session, and that you will in fact help us in encouraging more younger folks to speak up. Having said that, we value your thoughts. We value everyone's participation. It's very much important to us. So if we don't get to hear directly from you, please post your comments or feedbacks that you might have either in the chat box here, or you can mail them to info@globalgita.org. This is a pilot program, and thank you so much for attending this. So your feedback is very important to us to understand how to chart the course for the upcoming sessions. And I've been personally very fortunate to have been associated with the ashram for over a decade now, and to have had the opportunity to learn more about Advaita Vedanta, right? And that has come to my rescue numerous times. So our intention with this program is to give you, young folks, access to Pujya Swamiji and the ashram, and to kind of create a safe space for you to explore what spirituality means to you, to connect with like-minded people, and hopefully this will be the start or a revival of a beautiful, nourishing relationship with Pujya Swamiji, Nutan Swamiji, and Ma. With that, I will pass it over to my fellow conspirator, Sampada, to walk us through what today's session would look like.
Awesome. Thank you, Akshaya, and a big, hearty, warm welcome to everyone here to the launch of the Achieving Excellence Interactive Series. We are so immensely grateful to have your participation and your attendance here today, because this truly is, as Akshaya mentioned, the start of something very different that we've never had the opportunity to do. And we feel so lucky to be able to launch it with all the people that have chosen to be here today. My name is Sampada, and as Akshaya mentioned, the two of us will be guiding you today through our interactive workshop. So this is, as mentioned before, the launch of this Achieving Excellence series. The idea here is for all of us to engage with each other, with the ashram, have the opportunity to ask questions and start the reflection journey on parts of the Bhagavad Gita that we may have been introduced to before, but just may not have had the time to really introspect and dig deeper. Because you are the pilot participants for today's launch program, we ask that you engage, that you unmute yourself when you have questions, and that you really are able to get the most out of today's discussion. Before we start, we have a few what we call housekeeping tips, given that we are on Zoom and we are hoping for participation. The first is, please do stay on mute before, if someone else is speaking. Do unmute yourself whenever you are ready to share your thoughts and your questions. And as Akshaya mentioned, we do ask those who are attending today's call to really encourage and allow the youth on the call today to kind of get the front seat in getting exposure to the Bhagavad Gita and asking the questions that are top of mind for them. The second is, if you feel comfortable, put your video on. We'd love to see you. We'd love to engage with you and really make sure that this feels like we're sitting in a beautiful hall all together versus the virtual platform that we're on today. The third is, we will have a few engaging polls on Zoom today to really figure out, what are you hoping to get out of today's session, where you're located, things of that nature, to really help us get the feedback in real time of what we're hoping to achieve with today's program. So if you see a poll on Zoom, you'll see that appear on your front screen, and you can engage with it from there. And last but not least, if you do wish to see all the participants on one screen, you can click on Gallery View on Zoom and make sure that you can see the entire cohort of those who are participating today. Last but not least, as Akshaya mentioned, look out at the chat box for any information from the ashram or questions that participants are asking, because this will be a great way for us to engage with each other as well. Now, as we move into the program that we have built for you today, you might remember that as a part of the registration, we had asked you all what was top of mind. What is it that is keeping you up at night? What is it that you're hoping to figure out with more interaction with the ashram? And about 70% of all of you who participated and registered said that attaining emotional balance was what was most important as you think about seeking the guidance of the Bhagavad Gita and the guidance of our dear Swamiji. And so for today's engagement and today, the launch of this program, we are hoping to start there. We're going to start with deep diving into understanding a few shlokas that pertain exactly to this one topic, finding and attaining emotional balance. We will kick off our program today with going directly to the ashram to hear from our dear Puja Swamiji. And after hearing and dissecting a few of the shlokas that we've chosen for you, we will actually break out into workshopping sessions. This will be a great chance for you to meet like-minded peers. This will be a great chance for you to engage, ask questions, and share what these shlokas mean to you. And from there, we'll bring everyone back to what we call our main stage for concluding thoughts, a collective reflection, and prepping for our next session in the series. Now, with that, I just shared a lot of information. If you do have questions and feedback, as Akshaya mentioned, please don't hesitate to use the chat box or email us, because we are looking to make sure that this programming is exactly what you're looking for moving forward. Now, with that, we've told you that this is an interactive session, so we want to start with some interaction. We have a few poll questions for all of you to help us get started. So with that, keep a lookout on your front screen, and you should be seeing a question appear now. And the first question is, how did you all hear about today's workshop? Was it an email from the ashram, word of mouth? We know we have a lot of awesome young ambassadors on the WhatsApp group. Okay, we got some polls coming in, thank you. We're about 40% participation here, so we'd love to see everyone chime in. And you should be seeing the poll right in front of your screen. All right, just a few more seconds. We're at about 70% participation here. All right, with that, let's go ahead and share the results with all of you. It looks like we have about 33%. So the majority of us here have seen about today's workshop in the CIRD Narayanashrama Tapovanam emails, which is fantastic. And then we kind of trickle into a few other ways, which is the Global Gita Convention. So a big thank you to many of you who have stayed with us on this journey all the way from Feb of this year. Word of mouth, always a reliable source. And then we have our WhatsApp Young Ambassador group. So thank you to all of you for taking the time to be with us. All right, we have another question for all of you. Which age group best describes you? Which age bracket do you best identify with? Please do take a minute here. As mentioned before, this is a youth-focused program, and so we're very, very keen to ensure that we have the right participation and the right folks in the room. All right, I think people are getting the hang of this. We're already at 80% participation. We love to see it. We'll give this just another minute. Awesome. Thank you so much. To share the results here, we have about 26% who are 16 to 25. A good 40% actually that are in the youth bracket. So thank you again for being here. We do also have some folks who are in 46 to 55, and then it trickles from there as well. So everyone is welcome. This is an inclusive program, but we do want to make sure we give those who are in the youth bracket the opportunity today to really get FaceTime with the ashram. And last but not least, thank you for bearing with us. The last question here is, what are you hoping to take away from today's session? We want to make sure this is meaningful for all of you. And so is it joining a community of like-minded peers, learning tactical ways to improve your day-to-day life from the learnings of the Bhagavad Gita, going deeper in your understanding of the Bhagavad Gita, and last but not least, of course, connection and FaceTime with the dear folks at the ashram. Okay, we've got 60% participation. I will wait just a few more seconds here to let everyone poll.
Looks like nobody wants to join a like-minded community.
Akshay, don't be giving away don't give the sneak peek here.
That's true. Please don't let my comment influence your decision.
Awesome. We are at about 90% participation, and that is our last poll question to kick us off. And I will go ahead and share the results. But it looks like many of you here are today to learn from the Gita, the tactical ways that you can take this and implement this within your day-to-day life. And then also ensuring that you get time learning from Puja Swamiji, Ma Guru Priya, and Nutan Swamiji. And that is exactly what we're here to do. So with that, folks, thank you so much for your participation. And thank you again for joining today's launch of the Achieving Excellence series. Today, our focus is attaining emotional balance. And with that, Akshay and I would love to, with gratitude, pass it to the ashram. Puja Swamiji, pranams to you, and happy to kick it off with our Om chanting and talking about the shlokas that we've prepped for the group today.
Looks like Swamiji is on mute.
Puja Swamiji, sorry to interrupt. You are on mute currently. There we go. Puja Swamiji, you're all good.
I can hear you.
Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Thrissur, Jaya Guru. We shall have a joint recitation 3 times of the auspicious monosyllable omkara. This recitation has got very special influence on the biological heart in the body, as also the pineal gland. Both of them count immensely in the matter of keeping your body agile, healthy, and long living. It has also got its salutary effect on the emotional mind and the rational intelligence. I would like you to join me in reciting along with me. Harihi, Harihi. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect. Close your eyes. Open the mouth and the heart and join me. Think in your mind that our joint recitation should permeate the entire globe, showering its benedictions on all creatures upon the earth. This is an expansion you will have to breathe into yourselves. With the mind in hand, you will be able to do it. We shall, we will. Here we go. Harihi, Harihi. Suppose you are angry and you feel irritated. Will you remember to chant 1 or 2 times this omkara? You will find you will be very calm and cool. But you should remember and also do it. That is going to be the test paper for you. I am very happy that this session has been arranged and Akshaya and Sampada have done well in selecting 2 Gita verses. I shall recite the verses so that all of you will be able to listen to them well. These are verses number 62 and 63 from the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is actually the exposition of spiritual wisdom, particularly exposing what you identify as I am. What exactly is denoted by this I? What is meant by amness? That is very clearly set forth there. This is towards the end part of the 2nd chapter. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangaste shupajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate. I would like you to follow me if you can. We will give you a support voice from here. Arvindan, can you do it? Huh? You can do it? We can do it? So here, I am reciting it again. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha
Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha
sangaste shupajayate
sangaste shupajayate
sangat sanjayate kamaha
sangat sanjayate kamaha
kamat krodho bhijayate.
kamat krodho bhijayate.
The next verse. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha
Krodhat bhavati sammohaha
sammohat smriti vibhramaha
sammohat smriti vibhramaha
smriti bhramshat buddhinasho
smriti bhramshat buddhinasho
buddhinashat pranashyati
buddhinashat pranashyati
buddhinashat pranashyati.
buddhinashat pranashyati.
Many of you, my dear souls, may not know that Bhagavad Gita fully discusses the emotional mind and the rational intelligence. I would like you to understand that the human personality is a composite one. In that personality, our biological body and the senses are the external gross part. Will you not agree when I say that the whole body and the senses are made up of matter, and matter is totally inert, insentient? The body and the senses have no potential to generate an experience or feel it. It is completely inert. What animates and activates the body is the inner personality. The inner personality consists of the emotional mind, the rational intelligence, and the assertional factor called ego. In the whole of the inside of the body, we only have our inner personality. I want you to think, do you know about your inner personality? Do you know what is your mind? What is the structure of the mind, constitution of the mind? What are the functions, potentials, and possibilities of the mind? And what is the relationship between the emotional mind and the rational intelligence? If there is any agency anywhere in creation which can act upon the emotional human mind, it is only the rational intelligence of the human himself. I would like to say intelligence is the elder brother of the mind. It is not that mind is something different and intelligence is something different. They are only functional names and not entity names. Every time the mind has to look to the intelligence to get the right direction in regard to steering its thoughts, steering its emotions, and employing the senses. So this kind of an integration and coordination is very important. If the coordination, inner coordination is not there, then what is going to be the danger Krishna is giving in the form of a warning? The simple meaning the simple meaning of the whole verse will be, when you start thinking about the sensory objects, you think repeatedly about an object. Repeatedly, maybe for minutes and even more, then automatically, psychologically in your mind, a kind of a clinging and an association develops. You cannot help it. Suppose you put a firewood into a burning piece of oven, it will catch fire and start burning. Almost in the same manner, when the mind is given to thinking about the same object, oh, it's good, it's good, it's very beautiful, I would like to have it. So this kind of an association, I call it clinging. Sanskrit word is sangha. That's irresistibly grows in the mind. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. When this clinging has grown, the next to follow is a passion, a greed to possess it. You cannot help it. It is the nature of the mind. It is in the function of the mind. Repeated thoughts about an object automatically instills a passion or a greed for it. Kamat krodho bhijayate. When you have reached the stage of passion, desire and greed, when that is interfered with, you are not able to proceed with the kama, then automatically the opposite emotion surges forth. Krodha. Krodha means hatred, anger, intolerance. Your lips start shivering, trembling. The eyes become red. The hands also tremble. All these are symptoms of krodha, hatred. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. When anger and hatred overtake you, automatically you feel deluded. You are not able to see things clearly, think about matters properly, take any decision, listen to or look to the intelligence for a direction. There is utter confusion. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Then what follows next is total forgetfulness. Who am I? What was I supposed to do? Why am I getting angry and irritable like this? Is it right? No such thought. Everything becomes a state of delusion like darkness. Smriti. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha smriti vibhramaha. Smriti bhramshat buddhinasho. When the forgetfulness comes, overtakes you, the entire buddhi, it is destroyed. It is not able to function. Everything is lost. Completely lost. Buddhinashat pranashyati. From that buddhinasha, total destruction and downfall follow. My dear souls, this is the sequence of events, sequence of changes, transitions taking place within the body in the mental and intellectual plane. I want you to understand very clearly that Bhagavad Gita is a mento-intellectual science. It discusses the art and the process by virtue of which your emotional mind and the rational intelligence can be kept in a beautiful harmony and you will be able to function well. The mind should listen to the intelligence and the direction of the intelligence should be followed, and following that, the mind should be able to employ. I would like to tell you a little incident that took place in the ashram. Several years back, one boy came to the ashram. He was looking a little dazed. I inquired about him, and very soon he told me that he was on parole from Viyur Central Jail. What did he do? He was loving a girl. The girl was loving him also. Both of them were very happy and harmonious. After some time, he found the girl changed her loyalty. Mind you, the story is about a girl whom he loved. He has love for her. When you love somebody, will you hate her? Whatever may be, even if she does wrong, what right do you have to hate? And then enter into any criminal action? Is it permissible? Where is your intelligence? You can love a person. But you cannot hate the person and kill. You have no right for it. No laws will permit. Then what he did was, he was waiting with a large dagger on a vantage point. When the girl came here, he used the dagger and started stabbing her left and right. I asked her, how many times did you stab? Swamiji, I don't remember. After her life forces went away, he presented himself before the police station. Now you tell me, this is a typical instance. I will tell you another instance, which is more disheartening. An elderly person, quite mature and sober in Kerala, he was doing Shiva Puja for Shiva every day, without any break. You can understand the religiosity of the man. He had a daughter, about 8 to 10 years old. One day it so happened, his wife got an emergent news saying that she should go to the mother. So the wife got ready to go to the mother. He was doing puja, the husband was doing puja. The girl was told she wanted to accompany the mother. No, you have school, you cannot go, don't go. But the girl did not listen. She was so obstinate that she started following the mother. She reached almost up to the gate point. This father got up, took a dagger, stabbed her and killed her. Went to the police station. You tell me, my dear souls, what is this jugglery that we are seeing? Is it not our mind, our intelligence, our hands and feet? Why is it that we are being upset so much? Are we worthy of our salt if we are not spending some time to understand the mind, to understand the intelligence, the relationship between the two? Who asks you to think about an object for such a long time? Have moderation, 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 sublimation, sublimation, regulation, regulation, refinement. What are these words for? Are they not supposed to enrich and embellish our mind? Enrichment is not for the body. Moderation is not for the body. Reformation and refinement and regulation, not for the body. All these are qualities meant to be cultivated by the mind. Don't you have a mind? Do you not own your mind? Do you not own your intelligence? Intelligence is to be activated. Enter into an area. I always say, entering into Bhagavad Gita is actually a knowledge hunting expedition. It is a knowledge expedition. You hunt. What do you hunt? Knowledge. Where from will it come? From your intelligence. From your intelligence. The whole hunting process is within your head, done by the intelligence. Intelligence only knows to know. It doesn't know anything else. Mind only knows to think, to memorize, to generate emotions, etc. Unless we are able to open up our own inner personality, understand the place of the mind, understand the role of the intelligence, and we are able to bring about a harmony and integration between the mind and the intelligence, none of you is going to be successful, happy and harmonious in life. With a flexible and harmonious mind, an integrated mind and intelligence, any task you can perform. There is no limit. Sky is the limit. Our body stops growing at the age of 21, but our mind and the intelligence continue to grow. The body stops. Then what else will grow in us? The only factors, constituents to grow are the mind and the intelligence. My dear souls, are you aware of it? Bhagavad Gita exposes the human personality. It says your senses are superior to the objects. Mind is superior to the senses. Intelligence is superior to the mind. And superior to the intelligence is the I. My ego, my intelligence, my mind, my body, my senses, my world. Everything in this world is mine. The I is only one. The mind can be far away from you. Everything is away from you. The I is yourself. Unless you are able to dip into your personality, get a direct knowledge and experience of what our inner personality is constituted of, I don't think there will be any worthy human life at all. And by this exposure, what do you get? Your mind becomes stronger, you become enriched, you become elevated, the mind becomes expansive, it becomes flexible, sublime, serene. You have more of perseverance, commitment, dedication, exclusiveness. All these are the qualities which Bhagavad Gita promises for everyone who takes to reading and contemplating upon the message. I am very happy, particularly these verses. You see, it shows how potent our mind and intelligence are. At the same time, how dangerous and slippery the mind is. You are carrying such a mind. Be careful. Spend at least, Harvard University in a bulletin seems to have said, what? We are wakeful for 1020 minutes a day. Out of this 1020 minutes, at least spend 20 minutes sitting in a place, looking into your mind and intelligence and contemplating upon what is this mind, what is a thought process, how does it emerge, where does it stand, where does it dissolve, what is the relationship between the mind and the intelligence, can we do anything better? I want every one of you to perform well. Anything you must be able to take up and perform assiduously. I want your capacities to grow. That capacity growth will take place by interaction with Bhagavad Gita, contemplating upon the messages. It speaks only about your inner personality. It doesn't speak about your body. Your body, doctors know, you don't know. At least the mind and the intelligence, they cannot know. You try to know it now. I think it's very good. I am happy that Akshaya and Sampada have been able to hit upon a good program. Let us see what they further do. I wish you all well. I embrace all of you mentally, and wish you well. You know what is my blessings for? All of you should grow well and contribute to the productivity of your country as well as the world. The world should become a better world. In your family, good children should be born. Grandchildren should be born. All of them should love the family, but not alone the family, the society also. They must have respect and regard for the elders. They should believe in God. And they should translate this belief and faith into definite action that they must do. Everybody should contribute to the productivity of your own nation as well as the country, world as a whole. Then the world will be a better world. Okay. Hari Om Tas. Jai Guru. Jai Guru.
Thank you very much.
These young girls doing all this job, speaking well, etc. I am very happy. I don't think their parents are so happy as I am. I have not given birth to them, but my joy looking at them is far more than what their own parents will have. Similarly, I get joy when I look at all of you. No expenses from my part, but I get a lot of joy. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji. I am sure I'm speaking on behalf of Sampada as well when I say we are feeling very flattered right now. And whenever we have a trip with our parents the next time, we're going to show this piece of recorded clip to our parents, which will act in our favor for sure. So yeah, thank you, Swamiji.
Definitely taking a snippet just of the last 5 seconds so that I can reuse that in the future. So thank you, Swamiji. Awesome, Akshay. On to the next part of our program.
All right. So thank you so much for a very insightful message. And I hope that, all of us, after listening to Swamiji speak and then listening to the gravity of the shlokas as well, that our minds are bursting with thoughts and questions that we can use to start the next workshop portion of the session. As Sampada mentioned earlier, emotions was a theme that a lot of you guys selected and resonated with, right? So during GBGC, we all got exposed to Bhagavad Gita shlokas where the message was to cultivate an evenness of vision, and even there's a vision towards sukhas and dukkhas. But while that is the end state that we genuinely want to achieve every single day, the reality is that it's not that easy, and we still feel the push and pull of our emotions, right? So while you were thinking about a way to address this very common experience that we all share, we started thinking about shlokas that perfectly summarizes the psychology of the human mind that we can use to kind of help reverse engineer our emotions, to help us assist with our introspection, and then perhaps perform a root cause analysis to see where the emotions that we want to get a better control of are coming from. So the intention for this session is to provide that platform for you to interact more with the ashram and Puja Swamiji, Mudan Swamiji and Ma. At the same time, have that interactive framework where you can discuss your whatever situation you're in, whatever thoughts that you might have with regards to spirituality with your peers, with your peers of similar age, similar background. And we're not expecting anyone to have a groundbreaking revelation in these 15, 20 minutes of discussion, but I hope this discussion would lay the groundwork for you to continue ruminating over these shlokas and then continue with your introspection in the coming days as well. So with that, I'm happy to let the fun part begin. But before we start, just a few reminders. Please select the breakout room that you identify the most with, and Sampata will be sharing them in a bit. At the end of the discussion, we do want to hear from each group one key takeaway or one question. So while you're discussing, please nominate one person from each team to share what the team's one major takeaway or one question to Swamiji that you have that would be, so that we have a collective discussion at the end of the breakout sessions. And we don't want to leave you out in the dark, so we will be prompting some questions. We'll be putting some prompt questions in the chat box that will kind of guide you to direct your discussion. And I might jump from one chat room to the other, from one breakout room to the other, just to make sure that the discussions are flowing smoothly. So don't be alarmed if you see me or somebody else jumping. And yeah, I think I covered all the points. Sampata, did I miss anything?
I think you did too. No, that's perfect. And I think this is, again, as Akshay mentioned, you don't have to go directly into a groundbreaking shloka. You can take this journey and community where you need it to go. There are no rules, so to speak. We just want you to have an avenue to share, to reflect, and to really take in and introspect on some of the things that Swamiji has mentioned. So with that, I will go ahead and launch these breakout rooms. For those of you who have never used it before, all you have to do here is choose the breakout room that correlates with your age group. Zoom will take care of the rest. And so take a second to choose the room. You should see it in front of you. Akshay, can you confirm that you do in fact see that as well?
I see all the participants and not
Yeah.
who's
I
here.
think
people are.
You see it
some may see at the bottom of the screen. Yes.
at the bottom of the screen. Yes.
Yes, please scroll to the bottom and pick one, and you should be swished away to your breakout room from there. Welcome back, everyone.
Do we have everyone back?
I think people are just trickling in. Some people are in the depths of their good conversation and discussion, so I think they're just giving it a moment. But Akshay, feel free to start. In about,
All right.
yeah,
I guess we have almost everybody here. So thank you so much for being a good sport for this really new thing that you were trying out. And I appreciate it. And we understand that how, how sometimes nerve-wracking it can be to just be open and vulnerable with new set of people that we have no idea about. So thank you for putting your all in and then taking this and giving it an honest shot and discussion. So we just want to get a sense of how you guys felt with all of these things. This is a new thing that we're trying out, so we want to know whether you found it helpful, interesting, or was it something that you guys don't want to do in the future. So open to everyone. We would like to hear your feedback. Anybody?
feel free to unmute and share.
Yeah.
Should I go ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really nice talking to like-minded people, and it was good seeing people pursue this line of thinking, because I have honestly been I have always thought, whether there are people apart from me, who are thinking about all this and this whole spirituality and these topics. So it was really nice to interact with the people in my own age group. So it was nice.
Excellent. Thank you, Anirudh, for sharing that. Anybody else? We have time to hear from one more person or maybe two more.
My name is Sri Kumar, and I've been listening to Swamiji for over an year, but this is the first time I'm attending a live session with the like-minded people, and I found it really interesting. And I expect more sessions like this so that we can get ourselves acquainted with the right knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Kumar. We're happy to hear that very much. Anybody else? I guess we have time for one more person. Any quick thoughts? Should I start calling out people and put you guys on spot? No, I'm not that mean.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so I guess we'll move on to the next.
I think
part.
we have someone. I think actually, I heard someone start to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Did I make that?
No,
up?
I just mentioned. No, I just mentioned that it was wonderful. I mean,
Oh, you went on mute, Aditya.
Yeah, I could get connected to the group easily, and I had to tell what is the issue that I was going through, like at this stage in my life, what is exactly happening, and I could resonate myself with Gita teachings and how it will help me in my future. That is help me in connecting myself and with my people. That's what I want. I like to be very friendly and associated in good way, not with any negative. And I look for kindness among people. I don't like to be hurt by anyone, whether it's form of emotional hurt or physical hurt or hurting through words. That is also very difficult. Through Gita, I can at some point in my life, I can meet such people. I felt confident that I can find some place where I will be happy in my life. I'll overcome my difficulties right now what I'm facing. So that made me connect with Gita and better.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you for sharing.
Aditya, you were saying something, I think.
I said the same thing. Like I shared the same feelings. Like it was wonderful to interact with similar people, the same age group, and we understood a lot of things. Like we were actually talking about anger management, like how better anger is, like how useful anger is, and as well as how we need to curtail ourselves regarding the anger. So this is one topic which I personally liked. I mean, listening to other people also, and I think that we all shared the same thoughts and ideas about controlling as well as being able to effectively communicate the same thing. So yeah, it was wonderful. I feel it was a great initiative from your end.
Great.
Meeting you, yeah.
Excellent. All right, so probably we can start the next part of the session where we will have one representative from each group. Just unmute yourself and speak about one key takeaway or like one major question that you might have for Swamiji. So how about we start with somebody from the youngest group, 16 to 25, was it?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I'll go first. Namaskaram Swamiji. For everyone here, my name is Akhil. So we just had the chat with our group and there were about 7 people in it. And although it was just a short time, we sort of went through everybody's perspective on what they think about the Bhagavad Gita and why they are here in this Zoom meeting. And I would say all of us have this one question of, especially with those 2 slokas, we do get like what the sloka tells us is quite on point and it's like it's right. But how do we remember to apply this in every day, because we are used to act in certain ways, and what the sloka is asking us to do is quite out of reach at the moment for a lot of us. So how do we make it a thing, like every moment of our life? How do we be conscious of this truth that these two slokas are telling us?
See, the question you have raised is not particularly to the subject that we have discussed here. Don't you think this is the question and the need of every man? Why are we getting educated? Why are we improving our knowledge in every way? It is only to behave better. Our character should be better, behavior should be better, interaction should be better. I generally speak about 3 phrases: characteral elegance, behavioral majesty, and interactional excellence. These are the 3 subjects of discussion of all epic literature, including Bhagavad Gita and Mahabharata in India. All these you try to imbibe in the way of knowledge. Now, Bhagavad Gita has given you an exposition on how our mind and intelligence together can land you in a havoc. You take the lesson and try to enrich the mind and empower the intelligence more and more and more. Whenever you have learned many things, whenever you need something or the other come to your memory produces it. Suppose you are writing, how are you getting words one after the other? It is supplied and provided by the mind. So when you spend enough time thinking about the mind, thinking about the intelligence, and in the process, enrich them, empower them, and enlighten them, that enlightenment will remain as a constant coordinate in your inner personality. Suppose you see an object. Instantly it will come to your mind, I have seen an object, it is okay. But I should not be developing clinging for that object. That clingingness is what is going to delude me and land me in danger. I have seen it, maybe I like it, okay. If I am able to get it, it's well and good. Otherwise also, I shall be all right. So that moderation, flexibility, adjustment should be always in the mind. Flouting all laws and regulations, if you start thinking about a person or an object constantly, is it according to the law and process of the mind? So you get more and more of caution, forethought, discrimination. All these qualities start growing in you and they remain as a constant treasure. I can tell you, in human life, knowledge is the greatest persuasion in any field whatsoever. Knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. Now, Bhagavad Gita has produced a warning in these 2 verses. Heed it, learn it, keep it in your mind. At no point of time should I yield to an overwhelming delusion about anything. I should be a man of moderation. Enough of flexibility should be there. I cannot be obstinate and rigid about any of my likes or dislikes. We see 10 people. Instantly the mind says, or you feel, 6 people are all right, 4 are bad. How do you come to such a conclusion? That 6 are good and 4 are bad? But that is what the mind does. It always produces likes and dislikes and land you in trouble. Our ability is not to be deluded by our like, nor deluded by the dislike. Let likes and dislikes be there. They should not hinder my action. They should not land me in a trouble. So the need for flexibility, the need for assimilation, the need for moderation, it becomes part and parcel of your life. So you read Bhagavad Gita, read this sloka, and this is warning you now. There are so many verses in the Bhagavad Gita which instills confidence, which gives immense strength. a great lot of caution, discrimination. So many verses are there. All these will be developed in you, and in all your functions and interactions, you will always have a sense of moderation. Bhagavad Gita says in a verse, Yukta ahara viharasya, Yukta cheshtasya karmasu, Yukta swapnavabodhasya, Yogo bhavati dukhaha. A man of moderation, he alone will succeed with yogic excellence. That moderation. My dear children, moderation should be your watchword. In your domestic and residential relationships, in your professional relationships, in the societal interactions that you have, everywhere, be moderate. Don't rush through. Every time you do an action, think about whether it is right or wrong. A person about to commit suicide, if only he will have the patience to discuss his plan with somebody, he will not commit suicide at all. See, we must be able to make a discussion. You must have the habit of introspection. I seem to be liking it. Am I liking it? Or there is an overwhelming note in my like? If there is an overwhelming note, it is not right. I must have moderation. I think moderation can be accepted as a watchword for us, as a value for us, as an armor for our life. Any quality that you want to develop, you can instill into your mind. Be fond of that quality. Love it. Be fond of it. And the quality will start growing in you. Now, this warning provided by Bhagavad Gita, read it a few times, remember them. Oh, our mind can work a havoc. Wow, I should not become over addicted to anything, over fascinated by anything, over allured by anything. No. Excessive fascination, excessive allurement, excessive attachment is wrong, not at all right. You know, in the corporate world, it is people with qualities, CEOs, they alone are able to raise the corporation to a higher level. And one important quality is integrity. Integrity. We are a human being. We cannot always be mental and emotional. As we are emotional, we should also be rational. So our emotion should be sublimated by rationality. Let there be an integration between the mind and the intelligence. An integrated mind and intelligence will make you maximum efficient, effective, and resourceful. This is the knowledge. This knowledge has the greatest persuasion in you. Let me ask you one question. I have asked so many people. Have you thought about what is life? All my people have been saying, Swamiji, we haven't thought about it. Are you haven't thought about your life? Then how can you live a better life? If you want to be joyous, comfortable, and fulfilled in human life, you should know what is human life. What are the factors, constituents, which make our life? So we understand we have an inner personality. That inner personality consists of a mind, intelligence, and ego. What is this mind? What does it do? And what is the role of intelligence? What should be the relationship and integration between the two? Can you not spend some time? If you spend half an hour to think about all these matters, the moment you wake up, you will be a different person. The effect of introspection is magical, mesmerizing. My dear children, do introspection. Every one of you is doing it. But you do objective introspection for the sake of doing a work better, etc. But I want you to introspect over your own inner personality. How can we ameliorate the conditions of the people? How can I improve my performance, my thinking, my emotional framework? How can I become more rational? How can I integrate my emotional nature with my rational sense of propriety? See, every child, what are we trying to do by giving him education? We are trying to make him think and understand. Our parents should bring about children in what manner? Explain everything to the child and then say, you are responsible for your action. Let your action be right. I have one advice for children. My dear children, whatever you propose to do, before doing, share it with your father or mother. If you cannot do it, share it while doing. If that also is not possible, share it after doing. You do whatever you want, but you should share it with your parents. This is a safeguard. Similarly, whenever you propose to do anything, think for a while whether it is right or wrong, whether it is harmful or beneficial. Not merely beneficial to you, beneficial to your family, to the entire society. If thus reasoning and introspection becomes a sure coordinate of our life, don't you think we can save from all dangers? That is what Krishna says. Take Arjuna's instance itself. After coming to the battlefield, he started trembling. You know, his body trembled. His bow, he was unable to hold, simply slipped and fell. His mouth went dry. His mind started whirling like a whirlwind. His intelligence said, you should not fight. This is murderous. And he crumbled. And what are the factors which made him crumble? Grief, fear, doubt, and delusion. Tell me whether these four are also not in you. Are you not also a victim of grief, doubt, delusion, and fear? It is these four that Sri Krishna discussed, analyzed, clarified matters, enlightened Arjuna, and totally removed them from his mind. In the same way, Bhagavad Gita will remove all your obstructions. Which obstructions? Mental, intellectual conflicts and obstructions. In the case of Arjuna, war was an objective situation. What produced the crisis was his mind. Similarly, you are living in a modern world, in a corporate world, in an interactional world. In place of war, you have an interactional world. There also, it is the mind that is creating grief, doubt, fear, and delusion. Bhagavad Gita was an answer for these. And it is ever an answer for this. So if you want to have clarity of thought, a confident personality, if you want to remove undue and unjust fears and anxieties, and if you want to also get rid of delusion, seek Bhagavad Gita. It is a knowledge treasure. We call it an administrative treasure trove. An administrative treasure trove. To read Bhagavad Gita will be to conduct a knowledge hunting expedition. I want Bhagavad Gita to run parallel to your mind and see what happens. Take one sloka, read it, understand it. When you have a problem, here is the book which I have written particularly for use of all of you, keeping in your mind. Take the book, open it, start reading from the right. By the time you read 3 or 4 pages, you will find the solution for your problem. All problems are felt by the mind, and the solution lies in mind's own elder brother, the intelligence. The entire Bhagavad Gita is an interaction between an enlightened intelligence and a deluded mind. Krishna represents the enlightened intelligence and Arjuna represents the deluded mind. It's an interaction between the two. The sole objective of Bhagavad Gita is to purify, ennoble, elevate, enrich your mind, enlighten your intelligence, and give you a beautiful, sublimated ego. Anytime you will be flexible to adjust. So if something is to be accepted, you will accept. If something is to be rejected, you will reject. So the ability to accept whatever comes, and equally the readiness and ability to leave, let go, whatever goes. This is the one quality we want. So there is nothing in this world in the way of a psycho-intellectual problem or a conflict which cannot be resolved. Conflicts are generated by the mind and they are resolved by the discrete and discriminating intelligence. Okay. Is there any other question? I think you said only one question.
Thank you, Swamiji. We were just hoping that we could hear from the other two groups as well, just to see if there are any common themes that you can address again. So somebody from 26 to 35, what's your one major takeaway? It need not be a question, just want to get an understanding of what your discussion was all about.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Akshay, sorry. Of course, we had an incredible discussion on the topic of anger. But then towards the end, Ms. Paridhi had a question on the topic of desire. So I believe if we can answer that, the question was that, of course, the theme is that we shouldn't have desire in life. So the thing is then what's the purpose of life? Desire is the thing that keeps us moving forward in our life. So so the question is that, is there some importance for desire? And I'm not sure if this is exact the question, but she can correct me if, yeah. I believe that was the question.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Let me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Paridhi is there. I'll let her take over. Thank you, Paridhi.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to brief it and say that the idea is that, if we shouldn't have any desire for any material possession or of any other thing also, desire for justice, for knowledge, for peace, anything. So if there should be no desire at all, then what is the motivation in doing our everyday actions that we do?
That's an excellent question. And I know it's a very common question that a lot of us also think about. But before we pass it over to Swamiji, can we also hear the thoughts from the 36 to 40 age group? Your takeaway or any question that you might have. Anybody from 36 to 40 age group would like to chime in?
Yeah, we are from that group.
Oh, sorry, you're from that group.
Yeah.
Did I mess up the groups? Was it 26 to 30? Anyway, the group that I did not get to, the second last group.
I think Nihar was in that group and
Lavanya was in that group.
Yeah.
Would one of you guys like to? Yeah.
The question, and I think the user by name Waka Wakaji had a question, I think.
I have a question regarding, can simplicity be brought into a form of life through Bhagavad Gita? How simplicity can be achieved? Now everything is lavish, I feel, through internet. Life has drastically changed. How can life become more simplicity so that the future generation will not be affected and that cultural stagnation won't be there? So that's what I feel.
All right, so let us kind of like synthesize both those questions for Swamiji. So the first one that we got was, about desires. The whole thing about the shloka was like, to address the desires and not have any desires. So if we don't have any desires, how do we move forward in life? How to perform actions without it being fueled by desires. And the second one, if I'm not wrong, is all about understanding how to cultivate a sense of simplicity and austerity in our lives so that we are able to inculcate the messages of Bhagavad Gita in a better way. All right, so over to Swamiji now.
See, whenever you present the issue of desire, I am very much concerned. All these questions come from not understanding matters properly. By desire, can anything be achieved in this world? Suppose you have a desire. I want to have a building in Washington. Will you have it? Is desire bringing an outcome or an effort produces an outcome? Answer me first. In every field of life, activity, pursuit, whatever you want to achieve, see it clearly beforehand and make it an objective. Then design the course of effort with a view to achieve the objective. Complete that effort, automatically it is achieved. I desire. Will the desire be, it is redundant. Work on needs. Work on needs. Is there any need for you? Fulfill that need and make the necessary effort. If outcome follows effort, where is the question of desire? If you want to have a car for your travel facility, do you want it? Is it a necessity? Yes. Try to purchase it. Find the wherewithal for it. If you don't have it, reconcile with no car, go by public transport. Why is it that this desire you are fostering? Desire is redundant. It can do nothing in life. It is only rightful effort, taking the facts into account, needs into account, and trying to fulfill the needs depending upon the right effort you make for it. I would like you to introspect over this point. Shall I tell you something about me? I have been addressing people in India as well as abroad. I say I am a moving university. And my university open. Everybody can take admission there. No fees. Children come and hear me. Elderly people come and hear me. Domestic people, professional people, scientists, all kinds of people listen to me. Admission is open. We don't hold any examination also. But I give very good lectures. I have been doing like this for the past 66 years. I was a professional. I got initiated by my Gurudev. I started doing intense sadhana while still being a professional. Every day I used to spend 2.5 hours morning and evening together in my meditation. Holidays, I would meditate for 4 hours. What is that meditation? Close the doors and windows, sit on an asana, and then handle your mind and intelligence. This is meditation. I started reading spiritual texts. They gave me a lot of knowledge, insight, and what everything is discussed in our scriptures. So the reading encouraged and facilitated my meditative absorption. And meditative absorption, in return, encouraged and facilitated reading also. And both of them, like the two wings of a bird, started flying. And at one time, I decided, this knowledge, once I have known it, I have actualized it. I am not supposed to remain as a professional running after money and income. You know what a good student should do? A good student should study, learn. And the next role he should fulfill is not to go to the corporate to make money. He should teach others. If you honor knowledge, you are grateful to the people who have taught you knowledge. Try to become one like them. Even now, the bane of the educational field is that the best students do not take up teaching, particularly in India. The corporate world robs them by giving 3-4 times remuneration. So our education is never going to be all right unless the best students start teaching. So after having known it, what should I do? Should I continue to be a professional or should I throw myself open? I decided I'm going to leave everything. For what? For the sake of cherishing, preserving, and disseminating this knowledge. How will I do it? I had no plan. I always openly say, I was greeted by the streets of India. I was graced by the invisible providence. I left Calcutta. From then on, even now, I am like that. I have no desire. I have no specific plan or anything like that. But I have done at least 2 persons' job in my life. I spend about 8 hours to 10 hours on the computer even now. I speak and write. Either I speak or I write. These are the main functions I have. Without any desire at all the work that I have done as an ascetic has taken place. Tell me whether desire is necessary or not. I would like you to come and see our ashram, where we live. We have got an institution in Jamshedpur, in Delhi, in Malaysia, and we also have CARDNA in North America. You should come and see. All this is not out of a desire at all. I openly say, I am nothing and I want nothing. You know, when I say I want nothing, can you understand what is behind it? I have got something with me, which is so great, so magnificent, so indescribable, that it makes me say, I want nothing from the world. Is desire necessary? Desire is a traitor. Brutus said, after assassinating Julius Caesar, death for his ambition, he said. There is honor for his valor, love for his greatness, but death for his ambition, he said. My dear souls, never foster ambition. It constricts mind. It doesn't allow the mind to function in full measure. It is a constriction. Be free of desires. Improve your skill and potential. The society will search you out and give you the job you want. You will not get it by desire. You will deserve it, warrant it, demand it from nature. If you have skill and worth, will not people seek it? How can the world run without skill, without skilled people? So never desire at all. Work on your need. Work with your potential. Understand the possibility, scope, and make use of it discreetly. Then the next question is, how simplicity and austerity can be achieved? Our great Shankara has said about spirituality and spiritual qualification and sadhana. He says, Panditya balya maunakhyani sadhanani sadhaitavyani. He said, read, learn well and become wise, Panditya, scholarship. Balya, childlike innocence. And mauna, silence, means meditation. So this simplicity will be had provided you have a good and fair knowledge of things. What is simplicity? Straightforwardness. Don't have any kind of a show. Do not believe in ostentation. Say what you have in your mind. Think what you can. Let there be no difference between your thought, speech, and act. Whatever you think, suppose you are asked, what is your age? How many answers you have? What is your name? Who are your parents? Have you had your food this morning? To all these questions, how many answers are there, you tell me? Only one answer. One question about you, only one answer. Why should you have a different answer? So be simple, innocent. For innocence, you don't want any special training. Just like a child. Think in a simple manner. And then any quality, if you want to develop, you should spend time on that quality. I told a disciple of mine, he said, I want to have commitment and dedication. Swamiji, what shall I do? I started laughing on the telephone. Then I said, shall I tell you? Will you listen to me? Yes. You start saying commitment. I want to have commitment. Committed. I want to have. And think of what is meant by commitment. If you know of anybody who had commitment and with commitment they attained something very great, think of them, remember them, go into the details, spend sufficient mind hours on the quality. I put it 50 mind hours if you spend on quality, say simplicity and austerity, you will become simple and austere. 50 mind hours you have to spend on it. Am I clear?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
50 mind hours.
Yes.
Don't play any duplicity here. Mind hours. Oh, I want to be simple. Therefore what? By mere wanting, you will not get it. Follow up the want. How will you follow it up? Follow it up with the mind. It cannot be followed by the body. Simplicity is a quality of the mind. So the mind should follow it. You should start dreaming simplicity. Dreaming. Then you will find you have become simple. Austerity. What is austerity? Austerity is very simple to understand. Whatever you do regularly, every day you get up in the morning, you have food 3-4 times a day. The first austerity will be at least once in a week, you do not eat 1 time a day. Start once. Sacrifice 1 solid meal. It is an austerity. Decide that I will go for a walk for at least half an hour or 45 minutes every day. And do it every day, it becomes an austerity. If you believe in temple and worship, say on Sunday or Monday or Wednesday, I will go to that temple and spend half an hour there doing circumambulation and chanting some prayers, etc., without talking to anybody. I will spend the time in silence in the temple for half an hour and come back. It becomes an austerity. Either dropping whatever you regularly do or doing additionally something. Both these are austerities. So develop austerity. Austerity. Our mind is so powerful that I want to have an apple. I want to have an apple or a coconut or anything. If you focus repeatedly on the thought, you will have it. Our mind is a treasure, my dear souls. None of you knows it. Where are you seeing the whole world? I am asking you. Answer me. Our body is inert. It cannot see. It cannot feel. It has no sensing power. Our senses and the body are made up of matter. Still you see a wide world around you. Tell me, where are you seeing? Are you seeing in the cornea? Light rays reflected from the objects touch the cornea. Instantly, the eye sends electrical pulses to the brain center. And the brain centers interpret the experience and knowledge. So the whole perception is an inner process. It is not an object or objective process. It is a subjective inner process. And the whole thing is done by the mind. Our life is lived by, in, for, of the mind. Understand the mind to be the total of your life and enrich it, treasure it, develop it in the manner you want. Human life is only for mental, intellectual development, not for anything else. Eat to the extent you need, not more. Dress to the extent you need and want. Can you sit or drive in 2 cars at the same time? Can you lie on 2 cots? Can you dress more than for your body? So our needs are limited. We don't have too many needs, very limited needs. Contentment, joy, fulfillment, delight. Are they physical or object-based? Tell me, my dear souls, is not contentment an emotion? And as an emotion, it belongs to the mind. Mind alone can generate contentment. With many things, the mind can be sorrowful. With nothing, it can be super delighted. So should you run after the mind or should you run after the objects of the world? Answer me with discretion and follow the answer. Keeping the mind, you are begging for contentment. You are running after the objects of the world. Contentment is an emotion. That emotion is generated by the mind. A man is judged not by what he has, but by what he is. He is. He is. Will you appreciate these beautiful values and truths of the world? What quality is there which you cannot cultivate? Can you keep in touch with us? Any quality that you want, keep in touch with us. I will make you have the quality in about 2-3 months' time. It can even be faster. So I told my disciple Rajiv, start thinking. You know, after a week, 10 days, he said, Swamiji, I have become very committed and very dedicated. After 1 or 2 years, when we were exiting from the airport in Delhi, he said, because he was known to the customs people, they made special arrangements. He showed one customs officer and said, I told him what you have told me. And he has become very efficient in his job. Every day he catches 2 cases. And all his colleagues are not getting any case. He became committed and dedicated. Is the idea clear to you? Huh?
Yes.
Don't have pseudo thinking. Think well, deeply. Have integrity in whatever you say. Desire is a traitor. It always constricts the mind. Let the mind be fully applied to, and you can win the whole world. Today, they have not selected that particular verse which I would have preferred. Otherwise, I would have told you. Bhagavad Gita gives you in a single verse a formula to master the world. Master the world. Live in this world as a master, not as a slave and a servant. This is the message of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Okay. I wish you well.
Thank you, Swamiji. For those of you who, I liked what Swamiji mentioned at the end, which was, I'm able to impart my knowledge. And for those of my disciples where they've seen they've become more efficient, they've become more in touch with their intelligence. On that note, Swamiji does release a Bhagavad Gita a letter every month. And so if that is something that any of you are interested in, please do write into the email address. We'll put it in the chat box. But if you are interested in getting on that distribution list, please do let us know. This programming is coming to its conclusion. Thank you so much for your participation, your engagement, your attention. This, as I mentioned, is the beginning of the Achieving Excellence interactive series. And so kudos to all of us for the first of the program. And so a big thank you. As we think about this programming moving forward, the timeline that we have currently thought about is quarterly. So once a quarter for this programming to ensure that we're able to connect with one another, that we're able to ask questions much as we did today. But before any of us leave, we do have a few quick polls to wrap up our session, much as we did at the very beginning. And so Akshaya, if you'll help me out here, I'd love to launch the first poll for the group here. And the Zoom gods have also been very kind to us today, which is very rare in the virtual world. So we'll take it. All right, Akshaya, do you want to post the first one?
Right. Yes, I have posted the question already. So I think people are able to select the options. Can you see it, Sampata?
I'm not able to see anything.
Okay. I do see about 34 people have participated already. So
that's fine. That's great.
A few more seconds. And yep. Thank you so much, guys. So it seems like our session today was a success. So looks like 73% of you guys learned a lot, and we have some other people trickling in till about who still finds it valuable. So yeah, I'm happy to see that.
Awesome. Yeah. For any of those who did not see the poll question, like myself, maybe I'm the only exception here, but the question was just around if today's session was valuable, and if you were able to meet some of the goals that we had talked about at the beginning of the session, which is imparting some of the tactical things that we can put into our day-to-day life, and meeting a community of like-minded peers, people our age who are kind of on their spiritual quest alongside us. And then I believe we have one more poll question.
Yes, we do. Launch it right now. I hope people can see this one. Yep.
I see a few head nods. Akshaya, can you share the question for the larger group as well, please?
Yes, the second question is, how likely are you to attend the next session, which we are hoping to conduct sometime in the next quarter? So we have asked people to just like rate it from 1 to 5, 1 being least likely to 5 being most likely. So we have had about 80% of the people participate. I'll just keep it out there for a few more seconds and I'll end it now. Okay, let me share the results so that people who can view the results can at least see. So about 87% of you said that you'll most likely attend it. And I know that date can sometimes be a determining factor as like, for you to decide if you can attend or not. So as soon as we decide something, we will make sure that you guys know so that you can plan your attendance around it. So with that, I will stop sharing.
Awesome. Thank you, Akshaya. And thank you, everyone. I'm feeling a personal sense of accomplishment here. I'm so happy that this was our first, kind of a trial format. We've never done breakout sessions before. We've never had it be interactive. So we so appreciate all of you being engaged and flexible. So big thank you. Another thing that I'll mention is that while Akshaya and I, of course, have enjoyed hosting this, we also would encourage anyone else who wants to take the lead for the next session or has creative ideas and how we can evolve this format. We are all ears and we encourage you to step up to the plate. So if you are interested also in being involved in this programming or having the occasion to actually lead, please do send us an email as well. And we'd be more than happy to add you to our collaboration team. So with that, folks, a big thank you. I would love to pass it back to the ashram. Puja Swamiji, we'd love to wrap up with our Om chanting to just bring us all to a good close. But a big thank you and grateful to all of you for taking the time out to connect with all of us today. Puja Swamiji, if it's okay with you, we'd love to do some Om chanting to wrap us up for the day.
Okay. I just would like to speak a few words on the theme and subject about which nobody spoke anything. It is achieving excellence. Achieving excellence. I would like all of you to understand, excellence is not to be achieved after performing anything. Excellence is a quality. That quality does not belong to any object at all. It does not belong to your body also. Excellence is a quality that belongs to the mind and intelligence. So if you want to achieve excellence, you will have to make your mind and intelligence, the inner personality, excellential. There is a way of developing our mind and intelligence so that they will become excellent and excellential. So understand very well that to achieve excellence, the only way will be to make the mind and intelligence excellent. That excellentiality should be your nature. Then whatever you do will become excellent. It does not matter whatever you do. Maybe in the kitchen or in the drawing room, in the office front, in the societal front, anywhere and everywhere. Arjuna was made an excellent person by Krishna's tuition. And after the tuition was complete, Krishna asked Arjuna, did you hear me well? Have you understood? Has your delusion gone? Where do you stand now? He said, I have received the information knowledge. I have absorbed it. I have understood it. All my delusion is gone. Fear is gone. I have got clarity. I will take back my weapons and fight not one Mahabharata war, if necessary, a dozen or score of these. Tell me, how did Arjuna acquire this excellentiality? There was no time for him to do anything. He only heard Krishna. So our mind has to imbibe the quality called excellence or excellentiality. Remember this. It is not an objective outcome. It is a quality and a qualitative enrichment to your own inner personality. Think well. Now I shall conclude the session. Remember, this omkara recitation itself is a significant practice to imbue excellence into your mind and intelligence. Hari, Hari, Hari. Oh. Hari Om Tassat. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Okay.
Thank you, Pujya Swamiji, and thank you, everyone. Jai Guru, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we will see you all at the next Achieving Excellence series. Thank you.
Thank you.